I prefer to start these speeches with a little bit of crowd participation. You guys just got done eating dinner, probably maybe a little lethargic. You got a big weekend ahead of you, so we're going to do a little interactivity first here, okay? It's really simple. It's not very complicated. All you got to do is read the word out loud on the screen. The louder you read it, the more this will hit, okay? The better you're going to do for tomorrow. You ready? All right, let's go.
Sail, sail, sail.
Louder.
Sail, 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 sail.
There we go. What do cows drink? See, I love this group because half of you said milk and half of you said water. Water's the correct answer. That's awesome. That is awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. See, the other half now is teaching the other half exactly that it's supposed to be water and not milk. I appreciate that. Thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass around a bowling ball core. Let me grab one. Let me grab one of these. Go ahead. Go ahead. How many of you guys have been bowling before? That's right, the entire room pretty much. When you go bowling, this is what the inside of your ball looks like. It's plain. That's why it doesn't hook. It's boring. What we're going to do is we're going to pass around some core shapes that actually hook, that have performance to them. One of the interesting things is if you get one of the ones that says phase 2 on it, or it says code black, you should smell it because it actually has a scent to it. Yeah. So we'll pass these around real quick and then we'll continue with the presentation. There you guys go. 2 hands. See, one of the interesting things about STEM and bowling is that you may not know, first you may not have known that bowling balls actually have an inside piece. That inside piece is what kind of controls the steering of the bowling ball. But one company in particular, Storm, they actually decided that they wanted to make their bowling balls stand out different than everybody else's. So what they decided to do is put a fragrance in their bowling balls. And I've got 2 of them that are passing around. You'll see it. They have a very distinct, different fragrance to them. And they actually make over 40 different fragrances that they stick in their bowling balls. See, you learned something else new today. Yeah, people will hold their bowling ball and smell it, and then they'll go bowl with it, absolutely. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, a little bit about what we do at Creating the Difference. And we're going to go into some questions after that. And the whole point of this talk is to kind of inspire you, not only for your competition tomorrow, but also for your competition outside of tomorrow, the rest of your life. The tie between STEM and bowling doesn't look like there's a whole lot there, but there actually is. I mean, with the core shape being very unique, being very different, there's some sort of math and physics that go into that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to tie it back to kind of how it started for me. It actually started with my father. My father is, to this day, a big-time bowler, and he travels all over the world. As a matter of fact, he's on his way right now to Cleveland, Ohio to bowl a tournament. So normally I go bowl that tournament, and we bowl together, and I said, well, I'm coming down to Knoxville this weekend. Have a nice time. My mom kind of was the catalyst there. She actually would take me around to all the bowling centers and get me to bowl some tournaments, and I ended up working in a pro shop, which is where they get the bowling balls drilled at. So the bowling balls that are being passed around, if you look, there'll be what's called a pin, and that pin is indicated by a color. On some of the core shapes it's white, some of the core shapes it's yellow. That indicates the top of the core. And when you're a bowling ball at the bowling ball pro shop, what they do is they locate that because they can't see inside the ball, right? So they have an outside piece to look at, and that pin will tell them exactly where the core shape is so they can orient that in the bowling ball to give you the type of steering that you're looking for in your bowling ball. Next slide. So yeah, I went to Purdue University. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. It's a long, long time ago. That's why it's black and white. I bowled on the team for 4 years. Was captain of the team for 2. So I had to have it was kind of a good time for me to not only engage more in STEM, but even in some leadership in terms of being able to coach and work with the team. Actually I said 4 years, but it was 5 I was there actually. That's why my mom and dad are both smiling because they were glad that they were done paying for that education. I did get that degree, and I went to work immediately for a bowling ball manufacturer right out of college. One of the first things I did was I wrote down some goals. You probably can't read that. I can't from over here, but that's okay. Basically, one of those goals was that, this is what I want to do while I'm at the company that I'm at. I want to be able to own a patent. I want to be able to maybe run the company at some point or own the company at some point. I want to aspire to make sure that whenever I'm all done with this career here, that I've been able to have a positive impact in whatever I've done. This is an image, or it's a video actually, of a bowling ball going down the lane. And this will kind of put in perspective some of the things that go on with the bowling ball. Because when you look at it, it's just a round object rolling down the lane. But in actuality, that core shape plays this important role in getting the ball to be unstable. The instability creates torque, the torque creates hook, and the hook hopefully creates strikes. But I wanted to kind of show you guys that so you could get kind of a different view of some of the math and some of the physics that actually go inside of a bowling ball. Here's some of the equations that go into ball motion. So when a ball goes down the lane, there are really 3 different phases. And these are the 3 equations, these 3 math equations that are tied to it. So something as simple as a spherical object going down the lane that doesn't appear to have any sort of real technical premise to it could actually be extremely technical. There's some more core shapes. One of the cool things about STEM in general is you will never understand the power of STEM until you get to your job. And what I mean by that is STEM in and of itself, it sounds like, man, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It sounds like, man, I'm staying up late at night. You are going to stay up late at night. It sounds like, we got these competitions and they're stressful and we're going to have to, make sure we do all we can to win, and you are going to do that. But there's a whole other side of STEM that you'll get to experience as well. Me being in bowling, that allowed me to be able to meet people, allowed me to be able to go places, allowed me to be able to do things that could have never happened if I wasn't able to get that degree. So you guys are in a key position here because you're going to have a competition in the next couple of days. And one of the things to take away from that competition is whether you win or whether you lose, you always learn. Because you never know what you'll pick up that may help you the next time, especially if this is your first time and you get a couple more times to do this. You may find something and go, I didn't think of it that way, but I'm going to remember that for next time. Traveling all over the country, or actually all over the world, I was able to talk to people about bowling, educate them about bowling. And then the date, February 26th, happened in 2014. That was the date that I walked into the office. My boss called me over and he says, Ron, and he actually had tears coming out of his eyes. He said, Ron, I got to let you go. And I said, well, why? Why? Why you got to let me go? He said, well, we're struggling a little bit, and it's either let you go or we're going to let all the people that work for you go. And I had like 6 people that worked for me at the time. And they said, I don't want to do this, but we decided to let you go. And I was like, well, that sucks. Can I get at least a letter of recommendation before I leave? And he goes, absolutely. So he wrote me a nice little letter of recommendation on LinkedIn. And then 3 months later, I'm creating The Difference. And Creating the Difference is the company that we formed that specializes in products and services, not only for the bowling industry, but to inspire people that are not necessarily involved in bowling, like you, to maybe get involved in bowling. And I will tell you that because of that engineering degree, because of the going through the process of the education that you have to go to get an engineering degree, that's what actually helped me to be able to form my own company. And what I mean by that is when you are going through school and you're doing the test and you're taking the equations and you're going through that whole process, you think that, well, I'm never going to use this stuff. And for the most part, you won't. But there is a segment of it that you're not realizing that you're picking up, that you're being taught without even being taught. And that's the ability to problem solve. And that problem solving skill is key to everything in life. Whatever you want to achieve, it is going to be tied somehow to problem solving. Tomorrow, you guys are going to be problem solving, right? And whoever is the best problem solver gets to go to DC for free. That's the thing that happens this week. But you never know how that will play into your life further on down the line. For me, going through engineering allowed me to be able to understand how to problem solve. And that day that I got let go, it was a problem solving day. Because now how am I going to feed my family? What am I going to do next? But because of that technical degree, because of the ability to go through the process of figuring out how to solve problems and go through the process of talking to people and learning how to interact with people, I was able to form some connections before I had left so that when I did leave, I could actually create something that didn't exist, which was my own company. One of the first products that we actually created a bowling ball product, and this is the same kind of thought process. When I worked at that company, I could get any bowling ball I wanted. And as a competitive bowler, you go through 20, 30, 40, 50 bowling balls because bowling balls, believe it or not, they lose performance quickly. When they do that, they actually, we call it ball death. They actually die. They just quit performing. So what you do, if you're like me, you just get another bowling ball. But if you don't get access to unlimited bowling balls, like I then no longer could do, I was like, well, now what do I do with my bowling balls that I like? So I said, well, why don't I create a product that will extend the life of a bowling ball? Because if you can extend the life of a bowling ball and you can use it longer, then you're probably going to keep it and you'll be happier. So that's what I did. I had the background, the engineering background, so I applied that and created a product called That Purple Stuff. That's a funny name, right? You can laugh, it's okay. I laughed too. I was like, what? That product, as we soon found out, there are a lot of people that have bowling balls that die, and a lot of people would like them to last longer. So a lot of people bought that product. So much so that we sold it literally all over the world even still to this day. Because of that, I wasn't so upset that I got let go anymore. I was quickly okay with that. Because there's a big difference between working for somebody and working for yourself. Shortly after that, we decided that we wanted to kind of grow and help the sport of bowling, so we bought some pro shops. That's where you go get the holes put in the bowling ball. Since I had known what that was like to build the bowling balls, I said, well, why don't we go help the people that have to actually put the holes in them? So we bought, that actually is our third one that we own. We're getting ready to buy another 8 more this weekend. So we're growing really, really fast. But it's all predicated off of problem solving, figuring out a need, getting a problem, and then figuring out how to solve it. And that's the key for you guys tomorrow. Like I said, you're going to be able to apply some of the things that you learn even from your competition. That's going to be able to help you the next time you go to competition. I said, well, if we're going to do this bowling thing, we probably should get more involved with coaching. If we're going to get more involved with coaching, we probably should go get certified. So we went to the United States Bowling Congress, who's the governing body, and we said, hey, I want to take all the tests and get all the qualifications in to be a certified coach, because I want to do some more coaching. So I went and I did that. I was able to get that certification, and that allowed me to then go be able to coach some other cool people. So this picture here is just a whole bunch of different events that we get to go to and be able to help people. Because one of the things that's interesting is when you have decided that you're going to help people, the more people you help, the more people want your help. And that plays across in all kinds of ways you couldn't imagine. One day I was on Twitter, and I knew that there was a bowling event that was going to be filmed on ESPN, but it was for celebrities. So one of the celebrities that was going to participate was Terrell Owens. And I said, well, I don't really know him, but let me just text him and see, let me hit him on Twitter and see if he needs help. I'm a coach. I got the certification. Maybe I can coach him. So I hit him up on Twitter. I said, hey, T.O., this is Ron Hickland. I'm a bowling coach. If you want help for that celebrity event, hit me up. And sure enough, he did. He was like, absolutely. He said, I don't want to go on ESPN and look like an idiot. So I need some help. So I said, cool. I guess I'll fly out there and meet you. So I flew out to California, met with him, coached him. We had such a great rapport that he let me meet all of his friends. So now guess what? I got a lot of celebrity friends. Because they all want coaching too. They're like, wait a minute, wait. I don't want to suck. I want to be good too. Help me. So a couple of the friends that we work with on a regular basis. Nick Cannon, you guys know him? Yeah, he doesn't want to suck. He doesn't want to suck either. Nope. Go ahead, next one. There we go. Chris Paul, basketball player. Know him? Yeah. You know what? Actually, he's the one that hosts the event. So like it's his celebrity event. So what he does is he says, hey, Ron, when you come to this event, I need you to spend more time with me than everybody else. like this is my event. I need to win my event. So if you want to help them, that's fine, but you need to make sure that you reserve the best lessons for me. Fair enough, it's your event, Chris. Kevin Hart? Everybody knows Kevin Hart. Funny guy. He was serious when it came to bowling. It wasn't no more funny jokes. It was, okay, what do I got to do? Put my hand in where? What am I looking at? Okay, how many steps do I take again? I was like, Kevin, hold on, just slow down. This isn't so bad. And ultimately, working with him was kind of fun because you got to see another side of a guy who is so well-known and is so confident. And here he is, and he wants help. Like, he really wants to be good. He doesn't want to go on TV and look really bad. So to be able to work with him was really kind of neat, too. Then we got one more left, right? Oh, there's a couple more left. Keep going. There we go. DJ Khaled, you know him? We the best? That picture was 2 weeks ago. So I didn't know he didn't have his kid with him. Yeah, so DJ Khaled is serious too. Like, for those of you that don't know, so like DJ Khaled, he's a famous music producer, and he's got a couple of really popular anthems that most people know that are under my age, younger than me. I'm kind of old now. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, right. It only gets worse, right? So one of the cool things about DJ Khaled is when we were working together, he kind of knew what he wanted to do. He just didn't know how to do it. So with him, it was more like just kind of talking him through the process. And then once you talked him through the process and he kind of understood what you were trying to do, he was able to do it on his own. So if you're interested in watching that show, that show will air, I think, the 19th of this month on ESPN. So you'll be able to watch that show because that was 2 weeks ago. Go ahead. So at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the STEM competition that you guys are getting ready to do battle in is really about problem solving. And if you take that into context when you're going to do the competition this week, even if you don't win, or if you do win, you need to make sure that you take away something from it. Something that you will be able to remember that you were able to watch somebody else solve a problem, solve it better than you, or take away something from the fact that, you know what? Next time when I come to this event, I'll be better prepared because I've been to this event. I've seen some things now. Does that make sense? Because these things not only play for tomorrow, but they're going to play for the rest of your life. When you decide what college you want to go to, when you decide what job you want to get, when you decide when you want to get married, when you decide what kind of car you want to buy. Problem solving is the key there. STEM is everywhere. You know what that is? Who knows what that is? That's a good car? That's a Tesla. Okay. That's actually my Tesla. You want to see it? I got it right here in my pocket. No, wait, I'm serious. This is the key to my Tesla. Look, this is the key. Look, what's it say on there? Now give it back. So when I say STEM is everywhere, it is. And I think Tesla is a great example of STEM in action because some of the things that Tesla is doing are very, very unique in the space of cars. Go ahead and hit the video. This was scary and do not ever do this. This is an 8-second video of my car driving by itself. Maybe, yeah. We had to take the audio out because I was scared. The point I'm trying to make is there's a ton of science, a ton of technology, a ton of engineering, and a ton of math to get a $130,000 car to drive down the highway. And you can have anything in this world that you want if you can figure out how to solve problems. Does that make sense? Where's my bowling balls at? 1, 2, 3. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So I want to ask you guys, now that you've heard a little bit about the story, do you guys have any questions for me? No? Well, how about if I give you some candy if you ask questions? See, I know. My wife works at Nestle, so she always comes home with just tons of candy. And I'm like, well, I'm too old for candy, so I figured I would just give it away to people that ask questions. So does anybody have any questions now? Go ahead. You can just ask, can you have some candy? Go ahead. How did I know that I wanted to become an engineer? Well, I'll tell you, I went to a bowling tournament with my father, and I happened to meet a guy who had this really cool watch on. Everybody was talking to him, and he seemed like he was a cool guy. So I asked him, I said, hey, so what do you do? And he says, well, I design bowling balls for a living. And I said, well, how much does that pay? And he said, well, I had he had a necklace on, and the necklace was an award that the company that he designed bowling balls gave him. And he said, well, they gave that to me when we sold 100,000 balls. And I was getting $5 a ball at the time. I said, that's $500,000. I said, what's your job again? I think I want to do that. So me meeting him kind of inspired me to chase that dream. And then when I got into my first chemistry class, I was pretty scared as to why I made that decision, because chemistry was very foreign to me. But I decided that one way or another I was going to get through it, because I wanted to get that $500,000 that that guy was making. And I decided that that was what I was going to do. So I actually didn't get a chemical engineering degree. I decided to go with a mechanical. I like the mechanical side of it better. But the whole point of the story there is whatever you decide, one of the benefits you guys have in your generation that I didn't have is you have all these other ways to interact with these people. So like if you decide, hey, you know what, I want to build cars. You can go find people that build cars right now and go follow them on social media and find their stories, figure out how they did it. And then use that problem-solving skill of being able to figure out things that they did to get to their job so that you can get that job when you get old enough to. Great question. Actually, did you get candy? These are called randoms. This is a brand new candy from Nestle. They taste like gummy bears to me, but they're all different shapes and sizes and colors, but they taste like gummy bears. Way back over there. Okay, so give me the first part one more time. Am I satisfied with my life? Absolutely, man, I got a Tesla. No, great question. So let me tell you, what I found out for me that makes me sleep at night, that makes me feel happy with what I'm doing, is that I'm actually helping more people. And that sounds kind of weird maybe, but I'm going to tell you, the more people you help, the more money you'll make. And you don't even have to chase the money. If you just help people, you'll be surprised at the things that happen to you. So for me, it's the ability to continue to help people. To be able to talk to you guys today is fun for me. I'm going to have an unbelievable rest this evening to be able to go fly back to Chicago tomorrow, but part of it is rooted in the fact that I got to help expose people to bowling that maybe didn't even know that there was a core in a bowling ball, right? So that's kind of cool. Great question, right here.
What would you say is the hardest part of getting where you are today?
The hardest part of getting where I am today is making that leap. The hardest part of doing anything, I think, is starting. When you guys decided that you wanted to do this competition, it's tough to get in a room with people you don't know and talk to them, right? It's tough to decide what your project's going to be or what you're going to talk about. It's tough to decide what the study subjects are. So I think the hardest part of anything that you're going to achieve is getting started. And a lot of times that's why it's key to surround yourself with people that are kind of like you, or people that you can talk to about those things. That's why I told you go find somebody who does what you already want to do and then goes look at what they've done, because that's kind of the blueprint. If they've already achieved it, you can kind of follow some of the things that they've done so that you can be able to achieve it and get started. Great question. Way in the back. Okay, she asked, how long did I work at? The company is Ebonite International. The company I worked there, I was there for 14 years. Oh, wow. She said, how old was I when I started? I was 21. Oh, the company that I own now, Creating the Difference. Oh, 36. 2 years. So I'm 38, exactly. There you go. I like it. Hey, she needs candy because she was doing math over here. I like that. Poor Allie. She's having to run all over the building. Go ahead, right here. Oh, that's a great question. She says, how does purple stuff work? So this is what happens. So if you follow me on Instagram, I actually have a picture of this. What I did was I said, I know what's in bowling ball cleaners today. And I know the issue that they have, they only clean on the surface of the ball. So I want to make a cleaner that cleans into the bowling ball. Because those bowling balls, like I told you, they die, right? The reason why they die is because they are made to absorb the oil that's on the lane off the lane. Well, when they get full, then they quit hooking. That's what happens. So I said, oh, okay. I said, well, why don't I make a cleaner that actually goes into the ball and cleans it out subsurface instead of just the surface? So that was what the whole task was. And I went and I got a whole bunch of different products, and I called some friends, and we played around, and we almost burnt my garage down, but we didn't. And when it was all said and done, we ended up with purple stuff. Great question. Go ahead. No, you already got candy.
I don't want candy.
All right, go ahead. Ask a question then.
So, I totally just followed you on Twitter. Why did you name your Tesla Simply Amazing?
Oh, she said, why did I name my Tesla Simply Amazing? When I got that car, I was with my best friend, and he said, dude, what are you gonna call your car? And I was like, I don't know, bro, but this bad boy is simply amazing. And that was it. That was it. Great question. Go ahead, right here. Mm-hmm. Great question. What are bowling balls made of? So the bowling balls that you use at the bowling center, they're made out of plastic. A polyester resin is what it's called. The bowling balls that I passed around that have the scent and the fragrance, those are made out of polyurethane. So it's a little different material. They're both plastics, but the polyurethane material, believe it or not, actually is not as durable as the polyester. The polyurethane has more performance than the polyester. So that's why the bowling balls that you use at the bowling center are polyester, because they're more durable, and the bowling balls that you go buy are polyurethane, because they have more performance. Great question. Right here.
What is the thing that, what is the obstacle that you come across the most now that you've made your company?
What's the obstacle that I come across the most now that I made my company? My problem is I tend to be a real big idea guy, so I have a lot of ideas. So the biggest obstacle is getting all of the ideas implemented fast enough. And I will tell you, I've got a great support team around me to be able to help kind of rile me in, because I'm always coming up with ideas. Like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Hey, guess what? And they're like, I'm sleeping, leave me alone. So, but yeah, it's really implementing the ideas, because now when you see these problems and you can figure out ways to solve them, you want to solve all of them. And you want to solve all of them now. So it's having that patience to say, okay, well, we can do this one now, and then we can do this one later. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's fun, though. Let me go. I haven't been way over here yet. Way over here.
What did you have advice you give to keep your eye on the ball?
Say that one more time. I like the last part of it. Say it one more time.
What's a piece of advice that you would give to keep your eye on the ball?
So what's a piece of advice to keep your eye on the ball? Well, here's the key, right? So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're looking at something that you can hit. So what I would tell you is if you want your bowling ball to roll over a specific target, you focus on your target, your bowling ball will follow the target. What tends to happen is people tend to be looking at various things, and their bowling ball tends to go all over the place. So when I'm coaching a beginning bowler, I say, you see the middle arrow, which is the arrow that's in the middle of the lane? That makes sense. I want you to focus on that. And if you focus on that and just that, your bowling ball arm swing will end up following it. Great question.
What did you patent?
So I have a patent for a bowling ball restoration product. You can look it up. It's called Hook Again. What it is it's a substance that you stick your bowling ball in, like kitty litter, literally. And what it does is, remember I told you the bowling ball, it has the oil in the lane, the oil gets absorbed in the ball. When the ball gets full, it quits hooking. Well, kitty litter, or hook again, will actually, if you put the kitty litter next to the ball, it will suck it out. Kind of like a wet sponge, dry sponge. If I had a wet sponge and I had a dry sponge and I set them next to each other, the water would transfer from one to the other, right? This is the exact same concept. So I actually have a patent on that. Great question. It doesn't have a patent. Yep, right here. How does social media impact me? Man, I'm on social media every day, all day. Like I'll be on social media on my way back to the airport today. Did she put up? Yeah. So there, I'm on, and there, I have Snapchat too, but I didn't get to put it on there quick enough. But you can find me on Snapchat too. I would tell you, social media to me is very key for two reasons. One, it's a way to meet more people without actually being there, right? Two, it's a way to collaborate and get information. So there are people that I have never met in person that I follow on social media, that I like what they talk about, I like what they do. So it gives me additional information. Like I said, in this age, it is really, really cool because you can learn so much more, so much faster than any of us could. And you need to take full advantage of that. So tomorrow when you're in that competition and you see that you're getting beat, which you're not going to get beat, right? You're going to win. Right, you're going to win. You're always going with the attitude you're going to win. When you see that it's not going your way, instead of listening to the emotion, which is to get upset, it's to get sad, it's to be down on yourself. Instead of doing that, resist that urge and flip the switch and start thinking critically about what can I learn from this? Because the quicker you can learn from it, the quicker you'll be able to bounce back next time. Great question. What about over here? So how do you determine the shape of the core? So there's a lot that goes into the shape. I would tell you it kind of starts with the general idea of what you want the ball to do. And we know that certain shapes will help to promote more hook in certain parts of the lane. Some make it hook early, some make it hook late. And you use that as kind of your guide. And a lot of the testing comes not only from the actual inside piece, but putting the outside piece on it as well. Because I told you they're made out of polyurethane, but there's different types of polyurethanes. So we may take one inside piece and we may put 4 or 5 different outside pieces on it to find out which gives us the best performance. You got a candy? Man, there's a whole big old bag in there. Now, I apologize. You're not going to get any more randoms. We're going to downgrade to Smarties now. They're not Smarties? What are they? Oh, they're Sweet Tarts. Okay, well, now you can get Sweet Tarts. We got lots of candy, though. Don't worry. We're not going to run out until they kick me off of here. How's my time doing?
About 4 more minutes.
Okay, so we got 4 more minutes. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Any significant experience you had in high school focused on engineering?
Yeah, so did I have any focus in high school that kept me focused on engineering? So yeah, absolutely. I will tell you in high school, one of the key things that I was always involved with was trying to understand some of the things that didn't quite make a lot of sense to me. I can give an example. So for me in high school, it was like, well, all right, so I have my studies going good here, but I'm struggling in math. But the problem with that is I can't be an engineer if I'm struggling in math. You're not going to make it. And I remember in middle school being told, hey, Ron, I know you say you wanted to go this route, but you probably should look somewhere else. And what I did was I took that and I said, because it's challenging for me, I'm going to figure out how to overcome that. I'm not going to allow the fact that I'm not so great at math impede me from being able to get through math to be able to be this engineer that I want to be. And a real quick story about that kind of plays into my college life too. When I went to college, there was a college class that we took called Physics 152. I will never forget this till I die. Physics 152, we have 3 exams, and then we have a final. Then the way your grade worked was the first 3 exams could be 80% of your grade or 20% of your grade. And if it was the 80% of the first 3, then the final was going to be the opposite of that. Does that make sense? So it's either 80% over here for the first 3 or 80% over here for the final, and the 20 is the opposite. So we take the first 3 exams, and I got like a 42%. That sucks. But 75% of the class had an F. So we all sucked. So everybody, there's kids in the class that had always got straight A's. They had never got a B in their life. And they're calling their mom talking about, I can't do it. I'm ready to quit. My roommate, he's like, yeah, I'm tapping out. I'm done. And I called my dad. I said, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to be an engineer. He said, why not? I said, because I got a 42% in physics. And this is the first physics class I'm taking. I'm not going to say going to work. So I think I'm just not going to go to the final because I can't pass. There's no way to pass. And he says, boy, I'm paying $20,000 for you to go to school. You will go to that physics exam. Because if you don't, I'm going to be at your school, and you're not going to like that. All right, Dad, I'll go. I don't know why, it's a waste of my time, but I'll go. Well, the way it worked was, after the exam that you took that was impossible, they gave you all the answers, right? So you go to the class afterward, and they go, here's how you should have done the problem, which nobody, oh yeah, well you should have told me that, I would have been able to pass it. Well, everybody does that. Everybody now is not confused, but at the time we were all massively confused because we weren't able to pass this exam. None of them, the first three. So going into the final, I'm like, well, this is going to be a waste of my time. It's a 2-hour exam. I could go go watch me some TV or something. I don't have to go do this. But my dad told me I better do it, so whatever, I'll go do it. So I go sit down there. It's multiple choice. I see the first question, and I'm like, here we go. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute. That looks familiar. And it was open book, open note. Okay. I think I may know the answer to this one. Let me go see if I can find it. So I'm looking, and sure enough, the first exam we took, question 1 was this exact question, verbatim. So I'm like, bloop, B, done, next. Next question, that looks familiar too. I'll go find it. First exam, question 2, verbatim. C. The entire final exam was the first 3 exams, verbatim. So all you had to do was go back, get the information for the first 3 exams like you're supposed to, and you ace the final exam. And come to find out, it was what's called a weed out class. That was the design of the class, because there were 900 of us in this classroom, and the majority of us had never failed anything in our entire life. So it was designed as a test to see if you had the mental fortitude to overcome this adversity of not being able to pass these 3 exams. In 20 minutes, I took the final. Obviously, I aced it because I had all the answers. I come running back to the dorm room to my roommate, and I'm like, dude, you should have came. He's like, why? I said, because I aced it. He started laughing. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I literally aced this exam. It was the first 3 exams verbatim, multiple choice. Like, this was crazy. So I got a B. Ended up getting a B. And the people that didn't take the exam, they all failed. So the one thing I would tell you is if you feel like you're going to suck, that's okay. Keep sucking. Keep trying. Because eventually, if you suck long enough and you don't give up, you still can get a B.